that is called the Ifc Builder and CYPETHERM loads. Okay, so we are going to see a little bit the platform BIP server.center, the OpenBIM workflow, and how to start a BIM model starting from Ifc Builder, our 3D free modeler, or even we could start from another model generated by any BIM modeler of the market. And we are going to communicate this 3D model with the tool CYPETHERM loads to make the thermal analysis. Okay, thermal loads analysis. So, first of all, everyone is hearing properly. The sound is good. The image you see my screen, perfect. If anyone can confirm by the chat. If you have any questions during the presentation or even at the end, you could write it on the chat, and I will try to answer during the presentation or better at the end if you want. Okay. So I see someone is answering. Okay, perfect. So the sound is correct, and the image also. So here we first of all I would like to talk about a little bit about the OpenBIM workflow. This is the proposal that CYPE is encouraging our users to. We are promoting this proposal. This is collaborative and multidisciplinary and multi-user workflow. This is not a software really. The BIM technology, the OpenBIM technology, is based on the standards, IFC standards. So we guarantee the durability of the project, and we allow the users to work in an open, coordinated, and simultaneous workflow. Okay, so every specialist of the phase this project design could work in parallel in real time with the same 3D model, the same BIM model, with their own tools, their own specialized tools, and we could work in parallel and in real time. So as you can see in this image, you start from a 3D model, a physical 3D model generated by any modeler of the market, like Revit, ArchiCAD, Allplan, etc., MicroStation, etc., or even with Ifc Builder. Ifc Builder, it's a 3D model we propose our users. It's free, so you can use it. It's very simple to use, very much more simple than any of these BIM modelers of the market, but it's worth it to test it and to work with it because it's very simple to use. With this 3D model, we are going to storage this 3D model in our platform, BIM server.center. It's free. It's a free platform. You can use it. There are different modalities to work. Free modalities, payment modalities, depending on the size of the storage use, the number of projects, number of collaborators, partners you want to have in this platform, and you are going to storage the 3D model, and you are going to communicate with a Synchronizer that we have developed with any of our tools that we have developed for the different specialties, different domains of phase design in projects. So we have civil engineering tools, we have electrical tools, MEP tools in general for plumbing, sanitary, HVAC, thermal dynamic simulation, acoustic analysis, etc. So we try to cover every specialty of the phase of the project design in buildings. Okay. So once any of these specialized agents, of the technical agents that they are going to intervene in the project, have worked with the same 3D model, that in this way we avoid inconvenience and interferences in the phase design. So it's I say we are saving money in the end. So when any of these specialists has finished their work, they are going to export the information to the BIM model, to the project in the platform. So the BIM manager is going to manage all this information, and is going to compose the project design, the whole project design. Okay. Apart from this information in IFC format, in a standard format, we are going to generate the information of the technical documents, also the reports, schemes, diagrams, drawings, even cost estimating, etc., with these tools. So we are going to come to make the whole project with the information in IFC format to guarantee the durability of the project, and also the information with the different PDF, DWG, DXF, VC3, etc. reports and schemes, diagrams, and drawings. Okay. And also, we will be in touch in real time, always connected with the platform. And if anything changes from the build manager, from the 3D model, or any specifications on the project, we will have the possibility to update our model in our tools. Okay, so it's the philosophy more or less of the OpenBIM workflow. Okay, so I'm going to show you the platform. This BIMserver.center is very simple. You can search it by Google, or even introduce the BIMserver.center website. And it's free, as I said. Well, you have here information for prices and different modalities, info for the OpenBIM workflow in general. I'm going to install it in English, etc. So you can take a while to consult this information. And it's only mandatory to have an email just to register and to log in with your account. So I'm going to have my email, okay, and I'm going to introduce my password, and I'm going to log in with my account, okay. So this platform, as I said, is free, and you can use it to storage your projects and to communicate with CYPE tools in order to design and to model any specialties of in building design. So this is the format of our platform. As you can see here, we have different parts, different tabs: home tab, projects, recommended projects, to search projects in the network, because the target in the end, we are improving and we are developing enhancements to this platform, and the target in the future is to have a professional network, a huge professional network. So in the future, it could be a mix between Dropbox and Google Drive to storage projects, to storage information, also to communicate with other people, to search for job opportunities, as LinkedIn, for example, to communicate with people as Facebook or another social network, etc. So this is the target of this network: not only storage projects, communicate with people and search for job opportunities. So as you can see here, we have contact tabs to search for contacts, add new contacts by email, by user. We have this platform. You can use. There is an application you can install in iPhone from the App Store, or like Google Play for Android. You can install your application for your mobile devices, okay, and you can use it. Also, we have the Synchronizer. This is very important tool. This normally is installed automatically with our software, but you can install it and download it here just to synchronize the projects with the platform. Okay, all the tools are synchronized in real time with our projects. This is free, and you can download it and install it in your computer. So we have our contacts. Also, we can make collaboration requests for the projects that are open in the network or open from other colleagues and other collaborators in our contacts. We can download applications. As I said, this is a store, also another utility of this platform. Another functionality, you can filter by country, by category, by your own areas of interest, and you can search, for example, for thermal, also for loads. As you can see here, you have 500 loads. This is free application we are going to see today. And also you can see, for example, Ifc Builder. You can search it like here. Our software, you can download here and buy or download here applications, or you can do it throughout our website, cype.com, as you wish. Okay, so we have the store, the contacts project, the recommended projects to search project in the network, and we have the projects part. As you can see here, for example, I'm going to show you a project that is more or less completed, and here we have this all the different tabs: the files, the work team, proposed IFC request, and the historical, all the modifications, changes, to have traceability for the project. And here in the files part, we have all information for the different tools, different specialists that have intervened here. And we can consult the 3D view of this project. For example, this is more or less completed. This is an office building. And we have the information for HVAC, for lighting, for water systems, sanitary systems, sprinklers, etc. Okay, as you can see here, for example, if I had the model, we could see, for example, the inside. Okay, so the target, as you can see here, the platform, it generates all the information in different formats and in IFC format with the different specialties, and also the files in, for example, in PDF or with the different results, the different reports, the drawings in DWG, the XF, etc. Okay, so with the different specialties, we have all the information here, storage in our platform. Okay, so let's see how to create a new project. For example, we are going to go. Okay, we are going to create a new project. You can create the projects here in the platform itself, inside the platform, or you can create it in the Synchronizer when you are going to export to for example, from Ifc Builder directly. We can create the project also. There are different ways to do it. For example, seminar loads September, for example, no, October, sorry. Okay, so here we have, for example, this is a course. We have professional, educational course and seminars. And the visibility. Here you have these icons to aid you to help you configure the different functionalities or aspects of the project. This is not visible for anyone. It's only for me or my contacts, or as you wish. And this is the collaboration request. If anyone if it be open or open to my contacts, anyone could request a collaboration for just, I don't know, to make the HVAC design or the lighting design, any of the aspects of the projects. For example, it's closed here, and the description is thermal loads analysis, for example. Okay, so we are going to create the project, and obviously by default it's not anything is inside, because we don't have any file, or the work team is only me because I'm the owner of the project. I could invite users, I could invite foreign people to do and other things. Okay, so once it's created the project, I'm going to show you this Synchronizer. It is here, for example, as you can see here. This is a Synchronizer you can install with the software, or even download it with inside the platform. And as you can see here, I'm already logged in with my account. I have my projects here synchronized. For example, it has already appeared the project we have just created, the seminar loads October. Okay, as you can see here, it's already created. Okay, it's synchronized. So the next step, if you remember from the picture on the beginning, we have to create a new model, a new 3D model, and storage in our platform. So how to do it? I'm going to show you two ways of doing it. So once is if we open, I'm going to leave on this, remove this, and we are going to open, for example, Ifc Builder. How would we create a new 3D model from Ifc Builder? As I said before, this is a modeler, a free modeler, to create a 3D model of our building, of our projects. For example, I'm going to launch it. Okay, sorry, because I have two screens and it's a little bit messy here. So, okay, this is Ifc Builder. As you can see, this is the welcome window. You can create projects, manage your own folders of projects, examples that are already installed with the software. Okay, and you can see here, I'm already connected with my account. Okay, with bmservice.center. If you are already registered, as I said before, with your own email, you can have it and you can connect. So I'm going to show you how to create a new model, a new example quickly. Okay. Oh, sorry. No. Okay, projects, Ifc Builder. You can change the folder to store your projects here. And you can import a IFC model already modeled with a 3D modeler from another 3D modeler of the market, or an empty job. An empty job is to draw the 3D model of the building, starting from scratch. If you want to, you can draw by coordinates, or you can start from the XF or DWG templates. For example, I'm going to accept here. This is the number of floors or groups of the building. You can add floors or groups below the above the ground level or below the ground level. This is, you can manage, you can change the reference, the height of the floor, etc. So once you have created a number of floors or groups, you can introduce the drawing templates or not, as you wish. I'm going to search for the templates view manager. I'm going to show you. Here is the template view manager. I'm going to add a new template. For example, I'm going to search it in my, okay, here is it. Here it is. Here we have the DXF and DWG format is the most common way to start, or even a GPG or BMP format. If you have a paper, you can scan it and you can use it as a picture, and you can make a scale or an origin of coordinates, and you can use it as a basis to draw. The dates house, this is the template. PDF is not possible. I see a question in the chat, PDF is not possible. I don't know why. Maybe it's a thing about programming stuff. Maybe it's something it's very limited or very difficult to start a drawing.
You just printed the PDF and then you scan it.
Yes, well, there's one of my colleagues appointed me here. This, if possible, you can PDF the PDF, or you can convert it into a GPG. I'm sure that there are tools that can convert it, or to a picture, or even you can print it and after, well, you can scan it and well, release is the same thing. The target is to convert it to a picture and to use it as a basis to draw it. Okay. So, well, we are start to DWG or DXF format. This is the most common way to do it. I'm going to attribute yes, the groups to the format, for example, ground floor to the WG format template. Okay, so we accept, and this is the environment of this IFC builder. It's divided in different tabs to draw architecture, to configure the orientation. This is very, very, very important to configure the orientation of the building, as you can see here. You can copy groups, you can manage your floor groups, architecture, introduce all the constructive elements, spaces, grouped spaces, nearby volumes, equipment, and results to analyze the geometry. Okay, for example, just to show you walls and partitions, here we are just introducing the model in 3D. For example, wall 1, and you can establish the thickness. As you can see here, there are information of layers or materials, because the information of layers of materials, we are going to provide it in the thermal loads, in the set thermal loads tool. Okay, so this is, we have wall, for example. I can establish the line, the reference line. I can draw it more or less approximately, or even activating object snaps. Okay, I can draw here more or less. Well, I can deactivate the nearest. Okay, and I can draw with this tool more or less. Okay, as you can see here. Once you have once you introduce elements, you can consult the 3D view, and well, I'm going to just show you here, and this is the 3D view. The idea is to work in floor by floor, group by group, and the target is to rise the building in 3D. Okay, as you can see here, we are in the ground floor. We can move up or move down floor by floor, or directly to a group, and you can manage your elements here, and then introduce in floor by floor or group by group, and introducing the building or raising the building in 3D. For example, a floor slab, internal floor slab, or a screed, or a slab on ground floor, for example, with the thickness 20 centimeters. You can change the units if you want. I'm going to show you in just in a moment. For example, I can draw this floor, and the units is here in this icon here. You have the units, and you can change it. In an imperial system, you can work in an international system, an imperial system, IP system, and you can change unit by unit, or even the accuracy also you can manage here, okay? So, well, just to show you an opening, how to introduce a window, for example, here I'm going to create window or one, or with the width and the height, you can force it, and the height above the ground level, or above the level of this floor. Well, it is forced if I block it. For example, if I block it here, unblock it here, for example, I can draw with the dimensions I want. Afterwards, I can adjust the position. So as you can see here, there are many tools that you can do it here: move, adjust, etc. This is how it's how this IFC Builder is modeling the 3D of our building. Okay, I can introduce internal partitions, doors, even nearby our building obstacles. For example, a new one. This 8-meter height, for example, and I can introduce more or less the geometry of this nearby building, and in the 3D view I'm going to see it. This is going to generate shades or throughout our building, okay? So once you have the more or less imagine all the constructive elements modeled or introduced, you can create spaces, new space, for example, typologies of space, office. You can create an office, for example, and you can click on the space. In this case, there are no internal partitions. I can click on the space and introduce a reference, for example, and this is going to be the space here. Okay. So if I show you, for example, a complete work, for example, in this file manager, sorry about it. This is the file manager. I have access here in this general button, file, and the file manager, just to hold to manage your projects or to install the examples. If I install the examples, I can show you a more complete building. For example, I don't know, the offices one. This is the other example I showed you before, and this is the whole building completed with all the floors, with the different elements, roofs, slabs, spaces, doors, openings. If you want to see the 3D view. And this example is completed with different facilities also, because it's connected with a project Beam server, okay? And as you can see here, okay, well, this is the building, okay? For example, this is how we create a building. I see another. The equipment, well, the equipment is here, the top equipment is to the bathroom appliances. If you want to introduce in the 3D model here, as you can see here in the bathroom, you can introduce well, I can show you in the 3D view, only this floor, for example. And this is a little database of sanitary appliances or fixtures. And if I hide this, and you can see here the appliances. This is in order to communicate afterwards to, for example, to water systems or sanitary systems, to introduce the appliances and to make the design of plumbing and sanitation, for example. Okay, this is one possibility and one functionality that IFC Builder has. Okay. Well, so how we could start a project from this building? Here we have in the top of the screen, on the right, you have this possibility to export. And here in the export format, we are going to link to a BIM project. This is the idea. Yes. Well, another question: can I use it to calculate plumbing? Well, yes. Afterwards, you can communicate with site plumbing water systems or site plumbing sanitary systems, and you can export the model and analyze the plumbing network or the sanitary network. Okay. Yes. So here, to link to the BIM project, here we are going to select the project. And as you can see here, I'm logged in with my account. I can create the project itself here instead of doing it in the platform, or I can select the project. So if I select the project, I could select one of the projects of my account. For example, the one we just created, the seminar loads October, for example, and we can storage the project there in that folder of the project. Or we could create a new project from here, okay? So we are, for example, I can show you here, test 2 seminar, for example, type of project, course and seminars, not visible, and closed. Okay. So we export templates, and this is the IFC. This is the number of the project, and this is the number of the IFC. Okay. We are going to export the projects, and the idea is to create the project from this IFC builder directly and export the 3D model to the in order to communicate with the different tools of our CYPE tools for MEP, facilities, civil engineering, acoustics, etc. So we are going to, for example, let's see if this is synchronized. Yes, this is all. It has already appeared, the new project I have created from IFC Builder, and now it's synchronizing the model, the IFC model, to the project, to the BIM project. Okay, so we are going to verify, to check it on the platform in just in a while. Okay, let's see, in my projects tab in the platform, remember I come back to the website and I'm going to see the projects. Yes, this is the test 2 seminar I just created from IFC Builder, and as you can see here, the offices is already exported. We can consult the 3D view, and as you can see here, this is the BIM model we are going to use to communicate to the different tools of CYPE. Okay, so this is one way of doing it, how to create a BIM model with IFC Builder, model the 3D of the building with this tool. Normally you can do it from scratch, draw by coordinates all the construction elements, all the spaces, etc., equipment if you want, and afterwards export and create the project from IFC Builder, or export the 3D model only if you want. This is one way of doing it. And this is a free modeler, I insist, because it's very simple and you can use it. Okay. So what about if you started from another, for example, you collaborate or yourselves, or if you collaborate with someone that works with Revit or with ArchiCAD or Allplan, etc. And this person or this BIM manager is going to provide you the IFC model directly. Okay. For example, in the platform you have, for example, or in the market even, you can search for viewers from IFC viewers. For example, in the platform you have BIM Vision. This is a free base. Basically, in the basis you have plugins that you can pay, but it's a freeware IFC model viewer, so you can download it and you can use it. For example, I have here. I can show you. This is BIM Vision. And for example, this is the model I'm going to import in CYPETHERM loads to analyze the thermal loads. It's an interesting tool, and you can see, for example, the different floors or of your stories, of your building, and you can consult here all the elements, all the roofs, the walls, spaces, slabs, doors, etc. of your model. This is generated, for example, for this IFC4 format standards is generated by Revit. Okay, I don't know the version really, but it's someone or a colleague or even myself. The BIM manager has generated this Revit file from Revit, this IFC4 file, and we are going to use it as a 3D model in order to calculate the different specialties. Okay, in this case today we are going to calculate the thermal loads of this building. For example, I can show you another, for example, another more complicated files. For example, I have this offices building. For example, it's quite nice. Well, I can use these tools in order to see the different stories. Okay, this is quite nice. I think it's generated also by Revit also, and you can use it, this model, if it's well defined and in a prepared format, IFC4 format. You can use it and work directly to our tools with this IFC4 format. Okay. So there are many different buildings and designs that you can use, and many being IFC model viewers that you can use it in the market. We propose, for example, from Beam Vision from our store. So how to export and how to create? We have, if you remember, we have created in the beginning in the project the CYPETHERM loads project, and well, I'm going to use this is here, seminar loads October, and it's in blank. There's nothing here. So we are going to upload the IFC file, this IFC file from Revit, the other one. Sorry, open, yes, this one. Okay, I'm going to upload this file, the IFC, to the project. So how to do it? We have the Synchronizer, okay, here, and we have this tool just to upload a file, an IFC model. So we are going to upload it, this Office Loads IFC format. As you can see, we can only upload an IFC format. We are going to open it, and we are going to upload to the project. Yes, Seminar Loads October. Okay, we are going to upload it. Okay, as you can see here, it's synchronizing, and the synchronizing is uploading the file to the project. So we are going to check it in the platform now, and we are going to refresh it, and voila, this is the IFC. It's already uploaded. This is an IFC generated, I insist, by another BIM modeler, in this case by Revit. Okay. So instead of starting from IFC Builder, you have the other possibility that someone or yourself generate the IFC, and you can store it in the project, and you can start it this 3D model in order to communicate with this case with CYPETHERM loads. So let's move on, and we are going to open we are going to come back to the CYPE suite, and this is the main window. As we have seen the IFC Builder. For example, for Revit, you have a plugin, an OpenBeam add-on or plugin directly to install on Revit. This is free, and you can generate projects directly from Revit with this plugin. You have the civil engineering part, MEP for facilities part, CYPETHERM management. So you can, as you can see here, we cover different domains and specialties of building design. So today we are going to the CYPETHERM tab, and we are going to open CYPETHERM loads software. Okay, so this software, as you can see here in the information, this is a tool that uses the RTCM method from ASRAE. ASRAE is the most common American Society for HVAC people, the agents, specialists of the sector of the HVAC design, installation, etc. And they have this method that is very common, most commonly worldwide used, and is for analyzes thermal load calculation for heating and cooling loads. Okay, and also obviously this is integrated in the OpenBeam workflow we are proposing today via the IFC for standard models that we have just created. In the two examples, we have created one with IFC Builder, or even with Revit or another BIM modeler of the market. Sorry. So we are going to launch CYPETHERM loads, this tool. Okay. And here we have this CYPETHERM loads. Oh, sorry, I have it in the other screen. Okay. Wow. Here we are. So we have this this welcome window. We have the same aspect as IFC Builder. For example, we have our login connected, and but remember that the person, if I am the specialist in thermal loads analysis, I'm going to pick up the model which someone has created. Maybe it's myself, even it's other person, other people that he has created or she has created as a BIM manager the model in 3D with any other with any tool of the market, and he has created the model in IFC format, and he has invited me to collaborate in the project. And now I'm as a specialist, I'm going to make the thermal loads analysis. So I can be wherever wherever part of the in worldwide. Even for example, the BIM manager could be, I don't know, in Spain, and as especially it could be in India or in Asia or in Singapore or in the Gulf area. I don't know. Wherever worldwide, I can pick up the information from the cloud, from this BIM server.center platform. I could pick up the information from the 3D model, and I could do the analysis. So it's something that's very important to, because you can collaborate and you can work with people that are not even in your same office, even in your city, even in your country, even you abroad. So you can work with people wherever they are. Okay. So we can create a new job, for example, seminar loads analysis. Okay, this is the HVAC extension files. You can hold the storage deposit wherever you want. Accept, and also this tool can work with a BIM project where you can make a manual introduction. Okay, even you can import a JVM XML format, or you can link to a BIM project. This is the we are proposing to work with the OpenBIM workflow. So we are going to select the project. We are going to select the project, and we are going to search for this seminar loads October with the Revit model or this IFC model we have created. We are going to accept. Sorry, I'm going to show you this. Okay, this is the screen. Now the software has read the project seminar loads October from the BIM server.center platform, and the initiator, this is the 3D model, is this IFC we have created. Okay, we have exported to the platform. This is the model. So here we can, there are many options to, for example, very important to import the edges, to import generate the shadow description in external elements. This is very important to thermal loads analysis. And we can create for the directory or the folder to search typologies, libraries. This is very important because once you work with the software, you can create your own typologies, your own libraries for walls, partitions, roofs, spaces, etc. And you are going to save time because once, for example, you have created a library of spaces, for example, offices, meeting rooms, workflows, etc. You have defined the characteristics, the parameters of these spaces, of these, or even constructive elements, and you can save time. And instead of defining again the same parameters, you can take these parameters or from the library, and you can also include it in this job, in this actual, this real job or project you are going to do. So I'm going to search my typologies folder. Just a moment. Okay, I'm going to show you. Well, for example, in my folder, this is my library folder, and I have folders. I have libraries for constructive elements, spaces, etc. Because I have already worked with the CYPETHERM loads and other tools of CYPE. So I'm going to copy the folder in this import typologies. Okay, so we accept here, and we are going to import and read the model. Okay, import finished. Okay, so here is the environment of the CYPETHERM loads tool. Okay, so here we divided in building and thermal loads tab, as you can see here. Okay, and we have a building. In the building tab, we have libraries and projects. Normally, if we come from a BIM model, normally we have to work only with libraries because we have to compose the different elements, and because the model is already defined in the 3D. If we have a manual introduction, we should have to work here in the project paragraph. Okay. As you can see, all the construction elements, the surfaces, the orientation, tilt angles, all is already taken from the BIM model. And as you can see, is remarked in the 3D view, as you can see here. Okay, it's very, very, very useful. Okay, so you have all the elements remarked in the 3D model. So what we have to do is to establish the different parameters of the different elements. For example, in this case, we are going to start from spaces, and in spaces we have taken a corridor and water close already from the library. That is why there is no sign here. and we are going to see how to create a new office description and a new meeting room description for this project. Afterward, we can export to the library or we can import it. Okay. For example, let's see how to do an office typology. As you can see here in this building, all of these parties offices. We have the corridor here, and we have the meeting room here. Okay. So the offices we are going to edit, and we are going to customize it. Okay. Offices are occupied, heated, and cooled. For example, you could establish only cooled or only heated. The comfort conditions for cooling and heating, for temperatures and humidity. Okay, I'm going to establish leave it by default. And all the internal gains for ventilation. And in ventilation is divided in ventilation pure or infiltration, if you want to consider infiltration according to that right method or whatever. And the internal heat gains for occupancy, lighting, and other equipment, or miscellaneous or extra loads, okay, or extra gains. For example, ventilation, let's, I don't know, for air changes per hour, you can manage, you can work with different units. For example, air changes per hour, let's see for 1.2, okay. You will see here, always you see this arrow is someone that is going to aid you to configure the different most common values taken from Azure. From Azure standards, as you can see, 62.1, or even another times it could be from fundamentals or from the handbook, Azure handbook or Azure fundamentals. You will see the source always. Okay, so you can here, for example, go to the general, and you can see the occupable or conference and meeting or whatever. Okay, you can use this tab or even introduce your own criteria. For infiltration, if you want to activate it, you can activate it or not. And this is very important also, the schedules. For all internal gains, you have the schedules. For example, you can establish a schedule, a constant schedule by percentage, monthly, okay, month by month, you can establish a constant percentage, or a daily profile. In a daily profile, you can create your own daily profile. And as you can see here, you can establish the percentage for each hour of the day. You can establish the different criteria of your daily profile. You can create your daily profile and accept here and export to a library and import in future jobs. Okay, you can work it with daily profiles to all the jobs you work with. Okay, you can export it and import it wherever you want. And you can establish here all the daily profiles for all the months of the project, of the daily, for the simulation of ventilation in this case, but you can do it obviously for the whole project for the different internal gains. So you can work with constant percentages or for daily profiles. Okay. Well, in this case, we are going to deactivate it, and we are going to establish the people. For example, we are going to search for office buildings. Well, office spaces. We are going to establish this occupant density for this according to Israel standards. For example, you can establish, you can modify the sensible heat gain, the radiant fraction if you want, or the latent heat gain for each people in this particular space. Okay, or you can establish the different criteria for the manual application or calculation from Azure also. Okay. The internal equipment, let's imagine there are going to be, for example, a refrigerator or computer, laptops, etc. You can establish 89 watts, for example, radiant fraction 70%, for example, and latent heat gain, for example, I don't know, 120. Okay, so you can work with this. Customize with your own criteria for lighting, the same thing. For example, per square meter, I don't know, 12 watt per square meter, and the space fraction is going to be 90%. In something is going to be still in the, for example, in the Xylene, and the radiant fraction to be 70 or 80%. Okay. So this is configuring my space office. I can export to a library or import it. If I have already, I could import it in future jobs. Okay. So once you can configure the space, the mark is going to disappear. The corridor is already defined from my library. As you can see here, this is the criteria for the corridor I have established. For meeting room is the same thing. I can do the same, or I can import. For example, let's do it. For example, well, I don't have here. Well, I'm going to copy the references. And I'm going to import from the library from, I don't know, here we have reunion. And I'm going to change the references. Okay, this is the meeting room I have already in my, I had already also in my library, and I have imported here. Okay, so once we have configured the spaces, the mark has disappeared, and I can pass and I can move on from to another thing. In this case, for example, the constructive elements, facades. This is the facade we have. Well, this is Spanish because it's something that has we have designed here with Revit in Spanish, maybe. And here we have also modified. We can modify the reference if you want, or even we can edit here and establish the different layers. I can show you here. This is the spec of the layer configuring tab to introduce the materials. We can make a simplified input with all the different global parameters, or a detailed input. We can add layer by layer with our own materials, our own references of the different materials with all the parameters and characteristics. We can modify the color, the mesh, etc. Or even we can import from a library. There are Spanish, Portuguese, French, international, RSRI, standards, Moroccan, etc., Italian, etc. We have different libraries of materials, okay? And the different options, you can do it here, and you can import the materials. For example, I don't know, from RSRI, we have, I don't know, masonry, for example, this concrete block, I can have set here, and this is the concrete block. And I can also, for example, from representative material from RSRI, I don't know, this insulation board also. And I could also add, for example, gypsum. For example, this is a gypsum board. Okay, and I can copy this one once on one side and another side. Well, the insulation I have removed it. I'm going to again insulating this one. Okay, I can move the layers. I can modify, I can edit, I can create my own materials. Once we have composed these walls, I can export to a library or import. Okay, so you can do it wherever you want. Once you have composed it, we have offset it, and we can offset here, and we have the layers, all the information on the thickness of each layer material, the total thickness, and the thermal description. Okay. I see a question here. Someone's asking if a room is divided in the Ifc model, the condition. We have the possibility to update the model. If someone is the BIM manager in this case, because I am now the specialist thermal loads analysis, if the specialist if the BIM manager changes the model, we can update the model here. We could update here the model and take into account the modifications on the 3D model. Okay. So it's important to be updated in real time every time to the 3D model. So if I change the model, I can update here. Okay. Another question, any combined build-up, like an insulated services cavity? I don't know what you mean exactly. We have here all the materials, all the different materials from the library. You can also create your own materials, air cavity, solid, and also you have predefined values. I keep here. Here you have also, for example, if I run another wall, you have also another predefined representative wall types from RSRI, from the fundamentals. You can also already composed walls that you can import here if you want. No, here is layer by layer. Well, you can, as I said, if you want to, someone is asking for composed or there is no general layer, timber frame plus insulation. No, here you have the possibility to simplify input. If you don't want to establish layer by layer, you have the global parameters of a wall. You can compose the global parameters without establishing the layers. But if not, you can establish homogeneous layer by layer. Okay. Well, so once we have composed the walls, we have the mark has disappeared. We pass to partition walls, and we do the same. We edit, and we can compose all the different layers for the partition wall. In this case, we are going to import from my library, for example, or even from these representative wall types. Okay, when I am going to copy the references, and for example, a brick wall. With this, I don't know. In this case, well, this one, for example. Okay. And as you can see here, this is a, well, it's not very realistic, maybe, but this is a brick wall for the partition walls. Okay. Another one is, sorry, I want to change the references in order to have the same references as the model, in order I want to update. And here, okay, we move on to the floor slabs, and here we have this floor slab is already defined because I had already these references in my library. If I come back to libraries, I have this floor already defined because I have already worked it before. Okay, so I have already worked it before, and here I have the layers, and also is composed with the different layers and all the information. As you can see here, the software is already composing all the heat transfer coefficient, all the thermal capacity automatically for the walls and for the facades, for the internal walls, and for the floor slabs, etc. Okay. So here in the roofs, the same thing. I'm going to copy the references. Voila. Here we have. I'm going to copy here, and I'm going to import from, for example, from my library. There is a roof here. Okay. The reference is the same, and this is the roof. I'm going to provide it. Okay. And finally, we have the marks already left are in doors and glazed opening. For doors, I have these doors for the whole project. I'm going to edit here, and just this is the references from the typology of doors, and I'm going to establish the heat coefficient test, the heat transfer coefficient. For example, this is a boot door, for example, 4 watts per square meter per Kelvin. Okay, or the error has disappeared, and for glazed openings, the same thing. I'm going to establish, for example, a simplified input for the glaze fraction, for example, 2.90 watt per square meter. And for the opaque fraction, for the carpentry, I'm going to establish, for example, 18% of opaque fraction. And for the heat transmission coefficient, for boot, for example, 4 watt per square meter. I could add external shading devices. We could edit here and modify the obstacles, as you can see here, fixed or shaded, or internal shading if you want to simulate, for example, internal solar blinds or curtains, or maybe some protection that is mobile or something like that. Okay. Well, once we can configure all the libraries, all the glaze, doors, opening, etc., we could see that all the errors or the marks have disappeared in the project design because already is taken from the model. Okay. Well, just to in this linear thermal bridges, you can add here the thermal bridges depending on the model. Of the model, it could be all the models or the edges from the model. It should come from the model. So it will depend on the 3D model, which software is going to generate it. For example, Ifc Builder is going to generate every edges on a model. Maybe Revit or Archicad or Sunplan is something that are not generated, and you can create here your own typologies of thermal bridges. And here you can process the edges. We have many different tools to process automatically the edges in case they come from the model, from an ISO codes, from a catalog from Spain, from French, catalogs from Portuguese catalogs, or you can modify manually all the thermal bridges from your build. Okay, so there are different criteria. So I'm going to say the changes, and once we have composed the building, so we pass to the thermal loads tab, and in the thermal loads tab we have established first of all the location data, and the location data here we can establish the location data manually. Okay, as you can see here, we can modify or customize everything manually, or we can import from Esri Weather Data Viewer. We have more than 6,000 locations all over the world. For example, if we move, I don't know, an example from Asia, we are going to establish, for example, I don't know, India, Bangalore, Bangalore, for example. And here we have to establish, we are going to accept here, and here we are going to import the condition, the climate conditions from this database from Esri, Weather Data Viewer, and we can modify afterwards if you want something, whatever you want to modify, you can modify it. Okay. Okay. Someone is asking for TRI. No, it's not possible to import different formats in this case from external databases. Not for the moment, because here maybe in all of these formats you mean there are hourly formats that and we don't need it hourly formats for this case. We need the heating design conditions or cooling design conditions in another formats. But I don't know, maybe we could make a suggestion. Maybe in the future it's worth it to implement it. We could study it. But in this case, we can import Esri Weather Data. We think it's the most common worldwide database of climatic condition for thermal loads analysis, because here we are analyzing thermal loads, not energy, not dynamic thermal simulation. And also, you can create your own libraries. Once you have customized or edit your conditions, you can create your own libraries if you want. You don't have to work always with Esri Data Viewer. Yes, in the CYPETHERM Plus, you can import EPWG and not TRE, but TRY, but EPWG. Okay. Okay. So, well, here once we have established the climate conditions, I don't know if I canceled in the end. Well, I'm going to establish again because I think I canceled. Bangalore, for example, we accept and we accept here. Okay, so here is a tab to analyze what method we are going to analyze for heating loads and the period of time we want to analyze the cooling loads. We are going to create a hypothesis of analysis. We can create different hypotheses of analysis and a thermal zone to analyze in this hypothesis. In this case, because it's very simple, it's a single story office building. So we are going to create only a thermal zone. Okay. So once we have created we have established the location data and the thermal zones and the hypothesis, we can update results. Okay, and the software is very quickly, as you can see here. The software is already analyzed the results, and here we can consult room by room, space by space, different results, different reports. For example, overview calculations. The RTF rate time factors is very difficult to analyze handily, so this is very, very useful. And this is the key, the RTF and the CTSF of this method. And we can consult also the cooling load for the different months for this room, okay, and the different parts for ventilation, linear thermal bridges, fenestration, opaque envelope, etc. We could establish the complete cooling loads report for this room with the different losses and different gains of the conduction, windows, opaque envelope, thermal bridges, conduction dates for internal gains, ventilation and infiltration and other occupancy or equipments. Okay. Every report in CYPE it's exportable, or you can share it by PDF for colleagues or to us, to technical support department. You can export it in different formats: PDF, docx, HTML, RTF, TXT, etc. Okay. And you can consult, for example, for walls, you can consult the different losses and different graphs and temperatures and solar irradiation. The conduction time series factor is very interesting. okay, and the overview calculations, okay. Always the software is going to try to inform how to calculate anything, any part of the building. For ventilation, for example, the sensible cooling loads and the latent cooling loads month by month, and the overview calculations. This is very interesting also. And for the whole zone, you have the complete report. For example, you can consult the peak heating load, the cooling load, or even you can consult the complete report. And in this complete report, you can consult all the data. I'm going to show you here, sorry. Okay, for load calculation summary, okay, for cooling, heating, and the different graphs, okay, for all the rooms of this thermal zone, for external, internal, gains and losses, ventilation, and the total. This is what we are going to use to size afterward the HVAC installations. These loads, this is what we are going to use for cooling and heating to size our equipments, our system to HVAC installations. And all the information here, very detailed for the different rooms and the whole project. As you can see here, you can print it in paper, you can print it in PDF, you can share it, you can export in different formats. Okay? So, and finally, just to end this seminar, this is very, very simple. And every change you make in building, you have to come back here in thermal loads and update results. It's simple. If there's something in the BIM manager, something on the BIM manager is changing the model, the 3D model, you can update your model, your analysis model, and you will see the changes in your model, and you can update results directly. And also you can return the information to the export in IFC format to the result of the IFC information. If I export to the project, to the BIM project, the thermal loads analysis in order to communicate afterwards with HVAC, for example, CYPETHERM HVAC software to analyze, to size the HVAC equipment. I'm going to just, I think the Synchronizer has already exported the information. Let's confirm it in the BIM-Center platform. We are going to refresh and we're going to see. As you can see here, the IFC format, the thermal loads analysis is already exported to the project. Okay, so we have the in the GLTF model. This is a thermal model we have exported from CYPETHERM loads in the BIM project folder. And here, even you can, for example, there are tools that are very interesting tools here. You can see here to see the inside of the different thermal models of the different stories of your building. And here also you can consult the different layers. For example, here, if I click here, I can see the roof with the thickness and the thermal resistance. For example, for the wall, the same information. This is very interesting for the BIM managers to verify, or for anyone to verify that everything is doing properly. Okay, so this is how to, you have just seen the workflow, how to create a BIM model. Well, really, first of all, how to create a project in the BIM-Center platform, how to create a BIM model, a 3D model from IFC Builder, or even how to import IFC model from any modeler of the market, Revit, Archicad, Orba, etc. How to create a new job inside the third loads, importing the BIM model from the BIM-Center platform. How to make to establish all the set of the parameters of the spaces and the construction elements, and how to create and analyze the results and export the information to the BIM project in the BIM-Center platform. So this is how to close the loop. We have create the project, create the BIM model, store the information in the BIM-Center platform, make the results, and return the information to the BIM-Center platform. So from my own, from my part is I think I have already finished. If you have any question lately, you have any questions just to end the seminar, or even any doubts. This is the target today is just to see more or less the workflow, the tools we have to create a BIM model, and how to create a BIM project. and how to analyze the result, the thermal loads analysis results, and how to export the information to the paper, and how to import and export the information from the BIM project. Any question? I can see. Yes. Well, here, yes, someone is asking for the ventilation rate of each room. Yes, I'm going to show you. For example, I don't know, from an office, the ventilation in each room. Here we have ventilation airflow rate. Here, for example, you have the ventilation rate for each room. You can consult here. If you want to see the losses and the gain directly for ventilation and filtration, you can access directly to the tab, corresponding tab. But if you want to consult for the rate, you can consult here the detail, complete cooling loads report detailed. This is what you wanted, I mean. In the complete report, obviously, you have already in the thermal zone the rates for each room. Okay. Any other questions? Yes. Afterwards, we will have to communicate this in the picking up the information from this BIM server center platform of in this BIM project. We could launch CYPETHERM HVAC and take the thermal loads analysis from this information from this project, and we could make the design for HVAC installation, the size of the equipment of HVAC. Okay, so something about the license. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Menendez. I hope you can practice and you can test it several loads, because it's a good software, and the whole CYPETHERM suite. I think this is a good alternative, a good powerful alternative, and you can use it. I encourage you to use it. Okay. If you have any doubts or any queries, do not hesitate to contact us, to contact my colleagues, Vincent Castell or John Paul Parnis. If you have any doubts, commercial or technical doubts, or even our technical support department, support at site.com. Okay. And yes, someone is we are going to someone said, well, yeah, we will be visiting GP in December. Yes. Okay. Yes. Well, thank you very much for everyone. Thank you for your attendance, for assistance, and hope to be in touch. Bye bye, and see you in the next seminar. Goodbye.